I wanted to show you my absolute favorite ruler when I'm cutting out quilts. Like when I'm going to cut all the pieces for everything, I pull out the um, extra large Stripology ruler, and it's a big ruler, but it is a marvelous ruler. I saw this in action the very first time and did not hesitate one iota to pick up this ruler. And it has just been such a time saver. I can do things really quickly. Gives me very accurate cuts, and I'm going to show you how. Okay. So I have some fabric here today. I'm cutting out one of these 3-yard quilts. I watched Debbie do hers, and I thought, okay, well, let me try one of those. I would like to see, just do one of those quick, easy quilts like that. Okay. So I have here today, I have some fabric I'm cutting out. This is, I know you can't see this as well because you have a green cutting board and green fabric, but we're starting with green because this is my fabric A. And I try to line it up here, and I take it and I fold it in half. And I just, go along and I look and I make sure that it's pretty well lined up all the way along here, all the way to the, the end of whatever we have going on over there. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to use this darkest line right there to line this up with. And what I'm doing is I'm lining this up as close as I can to this edge and get through all 4 layers at once. Okay. Now I love this ruler because it has all those grippy strips all over. So I don't have to do anything but just, go here and then cut. And I need to make 3 of these cuts. And then I'm going to take them once I've done all 3 of these cuts. Because that's the first cut. Put this out of the way. I'm going to move this out of the way. It helps if you're, I must have a little dent somewhere in my thing. I have a tip for you too. If you get to where you're starting to do this and do lots of them, and you end up with those little, points where you have a strip like that all the time, you can flip your cutter to the back side. Okay, so these are just going to be perfect. Okay, so I'm going to take them. I'm going to leave them right side up so I can see the fold on both sides. Yeah. Okay, and I need 24 of these squares. So I'm just going to line them back up here. And I'm going to put this one on top of the second one. And we're going to try going through all 8 layers at once. So I'm going to put this back on. I'm going to line it up again with that line. And make sure we're all lined up everywhere. And then I'm going to turn because it said to do that. Okay. I'm just going to go through that one more time because I'm going through 8 layers right there in that first one. And I have this. And one more time just to make sure I got through all of those layers. And one more. And okay. So, well, we thought we got through all 5 layers. I guess I didn't go through this one a second time. I forgot about this little spot in that cutter. But you can see that we got through everything else. And I can get rid of all of those. And there I have all 24 of those 5-inch squares cut. Is that not cool? Look how fast and easy and wonderful that is. Okay, then I need to make a few other cuts. So we're going to go back to that same straight edge, which should still be very straight. I'm going to line myself up. Sometimes I line up against the line here on your mat. Bring this back up. I need to do, I'm just going to line it up against that edge. You can kind of feel because it goes down and this kind of raises up, so you can tell that you're right on the edge there. And I need to do, so I need to do 5 of these. And again, I apologize for this blade, but I'm doing 2.5-inch strips. And so what I have here is I have a square. Every square is going to be 2.5 inches, and I need to do 1, 2, 3. And you can see that there's this little teardrop space. You just put your blade in there, and then you go down. So that's 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then I need, okay, so we're going to move those out of the way. They're going to be a border, so I don't have to do anything else to these. And I'm going to use my fancy marking here that tells me that they're a border print. Okay, and these are my 24 of these blocks. Okay, now I'm going to do some binding. Now my binding is one, oh, there's one more of those. Okay, get this out of the way, and then I have 1 1/4. That's a skinny binding. Wow. It's going to be interesting to see what the binding is there. Okay, so this is how you do. I just need 1 1/4. So I'm going to line this up, and I need 1 inch. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this 1/4 inch right here along the very edge. I'm going to line that up on the edge of the fabric. Okay, and I'm just going to go down the 1 inch mark here. Oops. Let it smooth down and make sure we got it lined up everywhere. Okay, so here's my 1 inch. So I'm going to be curious about this because I've never done a 1 1/4 inch binding. So we're going to see how she does this. That's an interesting thing. Okay, but that's how I do 1 1/4 inch. If I needed, like, you know, 3 5/8 or whatever, I would go halfway between that line all the way up there. Make sure you lined up here. It also has markings for doing your 60 degree and 45 degree right here. It also has, you can see that there's a 60 line there too. It has some Y's. You can also use this to square up. Like if you have a 7-inch block, here is your 7-inch block. And then you can square both sides, and then you can flip it to your square and do it again. Okay, I'm gonna move this over because I'm running out of space on the other side to do the rest. Okay. So if I were going to do something like 2.5 inch squares that I needed cut, maybe a background fabric that I needed, I would cut 2.5 inches this direction. I would turn them just like I did the 5-inch squares I had to do, and I would cut 2.5 and then turn and cut 2.5. So just fabulous. I also will show you one day how I cut a bias binding with this. And one more out of this cut. Such a little piece there that I'm just lining up on the fabric, not the lines on the board. Okay. And that's all I have left of that piece. Okay, so these are going to be the binding. So we're going to do that, put our binding label on that so I know what that is. And then I'm going to go finish cutting the rest of it. So that is basically how you use this ruler. It is a fabulous ruler. I just love this ruler. In fact, packing it back and forth to retreats all the time, I would go in, and if I saw somebody who was cutting 2.5-inch strips and they were using, a ruler that was 2.5 inches and trying to cut, and it was just painful watching them do that. So I would drag out my ruler. I can't tell you how many people I have shown how to use this ruler. It is my best. So here is my tip for this that you can learn from my mistake. If you have one of those Sew Steady tables, or you have a carrier that you can carry your big rulers or whatever in, you want to put this in something that is solid, okay? Because it moves. Every single row of these, every 1/2 inch moves along here. Because you could do 1/2 inch cuts all the way through if that's really what you wanted, a 1/2 inch cut, and different things. But I didn't. I had it in a ruler bag, but my ruler bag was not stiff. This was the biggest thing I had in the ruler bag. I had lots of other boards that you would lay out your patterns and things to it. And I had other rulers that were in there. I even had some ironing wool pads. So I had things that were all square, would fit, to do that. Well, somehow on this last trip that I to a retreat I was headed to, it broke in half. I was so disappointed. So I when I found that we could get these, we ordered them in, and I just love having mine. So baby this ruler when you're traveling, where you store it, so it's not where anybody else can get it. It honestly is my favorite ruler of all rulers, and I use it all the time when I'm cutting out anything. It just is so helpful. I love how, sometimes when you're cutting with a ruler, you put it down and you go to cut and something moves, and and even no matter what you do, no matter how often you put a weight at the end or to do something, I seemed to always slip somewhere. I don't ever slip with this ruler. It gives me very, very good, accurate cutting. And I really, really love that. So you can find that on our website. We have several of them on the website under the rulers in the notions. And when you look at that, you think, wow, that's an expensive ruler. I have never regretted paying the price for this ruler. It is amazing. Okay. And if you wait until, so it is a great ruler. Okay. Until I wouldn't wait. I would just get it. You want to do it. I will be showing you some other cutting with this down the road, and how I use it in some other ways too. But I do love this ruler. I can cut out everything for a whole quilt using just this ruler, and it just makes the job go so much faster. Because if I I needed 5 strips of something, I need 6 strips of this, I can cut that. I need 2.5, whatever, I can turn it and cut what I need it to cut. And so it just goes. And honestly, that is with this ruler. I had this and this. That's all was left over from cutting out that one piece. So it's very, it's an excellent ruler. Can I say that how many times? I just love this ruler. So go check it out. We occasionally will have sales on our shop. If that's, something you want to do and you want to watch for that, that'd be really great too. So enjoy your day. Just had to come and show you this because I was doing a little cutting. And did you notice the quilt behind me? It is a free pattern on Moda. It's a baby quilt, and there's a mistake, okay? You see this down here? This line here and this one here should have been swept. I don't care how long you've been sewing. You'll make mistakes. And I keep this quilt because this mistake was not caught by me before I sent the top to be quilted. It was not caught by my quilter, who's Debbie. She just quilted it because she was doing it all over design, and so she wasn't doing any custom whatever, so she probably would have maybe caught it if she'd been doing that, because she would say wait, this is not the same. But she was doing it all over. She didn't catch it. It came back to me. I didn't catch it, and I put the binding on. And when I held it up to show my husband, because this is a pattern that I use for baby quilts. I make several of them, so I have them on hand when somebody special has a baby, and I give them to people as baby gifts. And I just want you to know that no one's perfect. It wasn't until I held it up and my husband looked at it, he said, wait, that doesn't look quite right, you know? And then I turned it around and then I saw it. So this reminds me that no one's perfect and we all make mistakes and it's okay. No matter how wonderful a quilter, no matter how long they've been quilting, no matter how many times they've made this exact pattern, like I've probably done 15 quilts like this, um, you can still make mistakes. So be gentle with yourself, be kind, get out that seam ripper, make that seam ripper your best pal, okay? And correct some of those mistakes. Double check before you cut. You know, measure twice, cut once, so you get it accurate and correct. Have a great day and chat with you later.